All right, Pirate fans and sports fans around the coastal Bend area, welcome to another episode of the Rockport-Fulton Sports Podcast Coaches Show. And today we're going to be talking RF Pirate Hoops. And on the screen, I have the head coach here for the boys, and he's got two of his players. And so, first of all, I want to thank you guys for coming out and spending a few minutes. I know it's a little late, but I always appreciate when the coach, I send an invite, is able to come out and talk a little bit about his program, his players, and I really like it when players can join the podcast. And so I want to introduce our head coach here for our boys basketball, Coach Keith Thompson. Coach, how you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, Coach. Thanks for coming out. Sorry it took so long. I know we get that Christmas break, and I see you guys playing, and you guys play those early games, and I'm, oh man, I'm at work. I can't get out there. So we always run into that Christmas time break where you guys play and we can't get out there to stream the games. And then you and I talked about setting up this podcast after the holidays. And Coach got two of his players. Hopefully I get these numbers right. We've got senior number 22, Caleb Wilshire. Caleb, how you doing?
Doing fantastic, sir. How about you?
I'm doing great, Caleb. Thank you for coming out. And then we've got number 23, junior Brian Kizer. How you doing, Brian?
Good, good.
All right, guys. Well, I got a few questions. Like I said, I'm not going to keep you more than 10 minutes. I'm going to try. I always say that and it goes like 30 minutes, but nah, I'm going to try to get you guys out of here as quick as possible. I really appreciate you coming on and spending some time. I do want to let uh, 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 the people watching, the followers, that this will be uploaded. You can catch it on all social media platforms, the Pirates Code social media platforms. This video, you can see it on Facebook, YouTube, you can see it on Twitter, Spotify, and TikTok. And so definitely, if you like what we're doing, if you like the podcast, I ask that you go to our YouTube channel. The way you can support us, hit that subscribe button. We've had great numbers, but we definitely want to continue to grow. So if you like what we're doing, definitely go to our YouTube channel. It's the Pirates Coast Sports Network, and hit that subscribe button. I also want to let you know that this podcast is being sponsored by the Rockport-Fulton Pirate Club. So I want to thank them for their sponsorship and all that they do for Pirates athletics. You got Amanda and Seth Snyder, and they've got a lot of volunteers. They do a great job, always out there. So I encourage anyone, when you see that they're open, they're always selling some great shirts, caps. They got a lot of great stuff. Well, check out what they've got, and anything that you buy and purchase goes back to supporting the athletic program. So I want to thank the Pirate Club for their sponsorship. So, Coach, let's go ahead and get started here. Let's talk a little bit about, I want to go back a little bit last year, right? You guys made the playoffs. We've been stuck in that first round for quite some time. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
We're going to get out of it this year, hopefully. We're going to get out and we're going to go on to the second round. But, Coach, you and I talked last year about, we knew a 4-year starter, Roman Cox, right? He was going to graduate. Obviously, that's always a loss when you lose seniors. But I remember asking you last year, who's that next guy, Coach? You have somebody up there. Yeah, who's that guy that you think can step in? And you said Brian Kizer, I think, is a guy that can get up there and make it happen, right? He can consistently score. And I want to get to one of the games that I actually saw Brian play. It was against West Osa. It was a home game. We actually have that game. If you want to see it, it's still up on our Pirates Coast Sports Network YouTube channel. But Brian, I think, had 23 points, Coach, in that game. I don't know how much you'll remember because it's been a couple of games here that you played that game. But he had a great game. The reason I bring that up is because it seemed like West Oso had no way to stop him. Like they couldn't. No matter if they changed players or whatever was going on, they just couldn't stop him. Right? He just, I think he had, 20 something points. I think it was 23. But he was on fire, outside, inside. He was able to get in, break that defense, make some great passes. He was able to get an end one, I think, once or twice, and then he was hitting the three. I mean, he was just unstoppable. I'm sure he's been that way at other games. What have you, Coach, seen from Brian this year? His growth from his sophomore year to now this year?
Honestly, I would say that the biggest improvement I've seen from Brian um, really has nothing to do with his game. I've watched him now for about a year and a half. he can play basketball, no question about it. But I would say the biggest improvement that Brian's made is being a teammate, a leader. Last year he was a sophomore, a guy that wasn't from the area, and he's done a really good job, I think, building relationships with the guys that he's around. We're hard on Brian because we know that he is the leader of our team and things like that. But I think he's responded well. He's matured a lot this year. Matured a lot. A lot of stuff last year that Brian would do, and in game things like that, he hasn't done. He's been able to keep his head, lead his team, talk to his guys. So to me, I feel like that's the biggest improvement that I've seen.
I've seen that too. I got to tell you, I think I said on the broadcast, I said, man, I love the way he runs that offense. Right, he's calm. If you're just watching him, he understands, right? Like Brian, you understand. Like when I'm watching him, I mean, he understands the game. He knows where that open man is going to be. Pressure, they come on to you, you get that ball. You just know how to handle it very well. So when I look at you, I'm saying this is a young man that has been playing this game, I think, for quite some time, without knowing if that's actual effect, but it's what I come to in my mind when I see you play. Brian, I'll ask you to talk a little bit about that game, what you can remember from that game. As I said, man, you were in and out, and toward the end of that game, when Westoso did make a run, it was you with your teammates that we gave us the bucket when we needed that bucket, right? To end up getting that win. What do you remember about that game and your performance?
What I remember really, I remember, I remember at the start of the game, Caleb, Gary, I think Alex hit some shots early, so it kind of eased my way into the game. Um, I know Caleb hit a three to really get the momentum going. Then we went up like 9-0. Um, I mean, I think that started the tempo really. Then when they started over committing on other people, that was my time to get my points. And for the first half, the second half, we was in foul trouble bad the third quarter. Let them come back in the game a little bit, but in that moment, I just felt like I had to uh, make my presence like known to win the game.
And that's what impresses me so much about you, right? Is understanding when you need to take over that game. Because during that game, I watched that film a few times from the time that the game took place to today, and I see that you're getting your teammates involved. You're looking for that pass early on. You're understanding. I've got to get other people. Caleb had a nice corner three from an assist from you, right? Gary Horton had a couple of threes in that game. It's being able to break that defense down and then making that pass, but then understanding when it's time for you to take over and understanding that, there's going to come a time possibly where you've got to be that guy to give us that W. You've got to take over, right? And I think in that game, you did exactly that, getting your players involved. It was really nice to see. I'm glad I got it on video here, the game, and then being able to also take over and get the Pirates that bucket when it was needed to stop that run that was also was starting to feel confident coming back. So overall, it was a great game on your part. Really enjoyed that, and I hope as district starts, we're going to see more of that from you and the Pirates. Caleb, I want to ask you as well. We know you because we followed you in football, and so we know the power, I'll say, that you have. But I don't know if there's anybody in district that's stronger than you. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know, but if there is, there's probably just one, maybe two. But I've watched you. You have an inside game, you have an outside game, right? You can hit the three. You can also overpower people to get in to the free throw or make that basket. What do you prefer to play? Do you like the inside game better? Or do you like that outside game better?
I mean, I'm a big fan of both, I would say. Like, it just doesn't really matter to me too much, honestly. I guess, I mean, the outside
Outside, pretty good. I've seen you hit those
is
shots
like
from the outside.
probably easier for me. And then or a lot of times what happens is I play inside game real well. And what happens is, then the outside game opens up, so I can kind of just switch back and forth between that pretty well. So it's really not much because, I go on the outside game and everyone's all spaced out. I do really well and I can kill from there. And then I can go inside and then I can just work from there, and then people, a lot of times if I become a good killer in there, I can start passing back out to other guys and then maybe even work my way out eventually and then just start killing from there too. So I like both of them kind of equal. I wouldn't say I like one more than the other.
Well, you're good on both. I can tell you that from watching the few games that I have this year. Definitely, you can play that inside game. I think you're a problem for those guys trying to guard you inside, obviously, with the height and the strength that you have. And then, of course, if you have to go out, I think they feel confident. I think Brian feels confident in passing you that ball, knowing that you are going to hit that three. So it's really nice when a big man can play both inside and outside. I think we have that in you this year for the Pirates. I'd ask you, Caleb, to talk a little bit about the non-district. You guys are going to be playing tomorrow, your first district game in Sinton, and we'll get into that in a bit. But as you played in these tournaments, and I see some of the tournaments you played in some of these teams, now that non-district has concluded, how well do you think this team has gotten? I mean, you got to the team late, obviously, because of the playoff run in football, right? So they were already starting playing some of these games before you came in, but you were there last year. So once you come in and you see what's going on, and now that we're going to district, how would you grade this team in the non-district? How well do you think Rockport, from the time that you got there, the first day of practice to the last game, that the Pirates have improved?
I think we improved a lot. Our communication on defense and our boxing out has definitely improved because I know we were struggling with that a lot during the preseason and just all before district. But we kind of during the last few practices we've been really focusing on that. And I've seen like a really big difference in the way we play, and we play a lot better basketball now. And I'm just kind of excited to see it translate, and hopefully it doesn't all go bad the first game, but I think it will be just fine. Guys are starting to become more physical, I think too, when rebounding, and also stuff.
Yeah.
I think we've also just gotten more physical as a team. I think we've gotten a little less soft. I think we've gotten starting to get more physical and starting to become, a harder team to play against. And that's kind of our goal. It's like, I feel like with me, by the end of the season, I want people to play us and think, dang, they were a really hard team to play against. So that's kind of my goal. But as we've been progressing, we just get harder and harder to play against us as we progress. So that's kind of where I think we're at. So I think we're doing pretty well in that aspect. And we're just trying to become a really tough team. Because we're not like the greatest skill team to go out there and kind of just do whatever we want. So we kind of have to play dirty a little bit, and we kind of progressed to that, and it's been a lot better.
I think so. I think it has. And look, I love Gary Horton. I love his game. I think he can hit the three. That's outside of Brian. I mean, you're capable of hitting that three. Gary Horton's capable of hitting some threes, right? We've seen that. I didn't know Castaneda. I think, what is his first name? What's his Jorge? George? Alex. I'm sorry. Alex. I love this kid's game. I didn't know. I had heard about him last year on JV. I think a freshman we played, but I really like his game. A couple games I've been there. I mean, I watch him play. Doesn't really, get those 20-some points a game, but man, he does a lot of things, a lot of smart things that end up helping this team win, right? Like, I like his play, I like his hustle, and I wanted to talk to Coach a little bit about him because watching these few games when I went down to the stream, he's one guy that has also caught my eye in the way that he plays this game, and I just think he has a high IQ for the game of basketball. Brian, I'll ask you. You heard what Caleb said. How well do you think the non-district has prepared the Pirates for the district that comes up and starts tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think we play a lot of I think we play a lot of teams that probably should be beat every team in our district. We play up instead of playing down. So I feel, especially since we have a lot of guys first year varsity, I feel like they took tremendous leaps. I mean, I remember my first year on varsity, I was scared. I mean, I could tell some were scared. Could tell some were scared, probably still a little bit scared, but I feel like they're getting more comfortable, getting more physical, getting more like acclimated to the speed. I mean, yeah, like what Caleb's saying, I think since we're getting more comfortable, they're getting more physical because we are a pretty young team, mostly juniors and sophomores. But I mean, Caleb really said it all.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think people are going to try to rough us up. I mean, basketball is a physical sport, right? And sometimes when you get a little, when it gets a little physical, right? Sometimes players you tend to shy. It's just we just kind of takes us out of our game, and what Caleb was saying, we got to be physical right back, right? In some sense, you don't want to be dirty, right? But I understood what he said. You got to get a little dirty. You have to. I've always said when you play a sport, right? There's got to be. When I played, there was an arrogance, right? That's just what made. I didn't go out there and talk trash, but I played like that, right? Like you have to have that mentality. Like you can't stop me. Doesn't matter what you do. You got to go in with that attitude, right? I think sometimes it pays off. And I like that the physicality. We got to get physical. We're gonna get physical with you. You come in here, man. You're gonna know at the end whether we get the W or we don't. You're gonna know, man. You're gonna feel that you were in a game, and I like hearing that from the players, right? If it comes down to that, if they want to get physical, we can get physical right back. So that's great to hear. And I'm glad to hear that the communication is getting better. I think it took some time. I think we were there at the Port Aransas game too when you guys played, and we knew that Port Aransas, they're ranked the smaller school, but a very good basketball team or program out there in Port A. And we knew at that time that we were still trying to get acclimated. We just had the football players coming in, so we knew it was going to take some time to gel. Next time we got out there, you played West Oso. Much different. You could see from the Port Aransas game to the West Oso game how you guys were playing, and we could see the communication and the gelling starting to happen. And so now you played all these games. We'll be ready for Sinton. And Coach, I want to go to you first here. You start district tomorrow in Sinton. It's always tough. There's kind of like a rivalry, right? They want to beat Rockport. Who's the real Pirates, right? I say we are because I always call they're the land Pirates. We're the real Pirates. But that group over there, they're coming to play. You played them last year. They've lost some of their seniors, but that team is always really good and well coached. What do you want to see from your Pirates tomorrow to get that W over Sinton?
I think just kind of like what the boys are talking about. I want to see them communicating on defense. I want to see them, we've been talking about a thing. It's called over communicating, right? Like you are talking so much that no one has to assume, no one has to guess. They know. So I think for us to get a win, first we got to play solid defense, right, without fouling. We got to talk to each other. We got to be in the right spots. Shot goes up, we got to be physical, box out, limit them to one shot, and then we got to get out and run. I tell the boys all the time, the easiest basket is a fast break one. So I think we've done a lot of that. So I think they're prepared. I think they're ready. We've had a long layoff since our last game. A lot of practices. A lot of time for guys to heal up, little injuries here and there. So I think they're ready to get it started.
Yeah, I was going to say that layoff. Brian, do you think that layoff is going to have any effect as you haven't played in quite some time?
No, I don't think it will have effect. I mean, I got back into practice probably about a week ago, and I started just getting back into the groove of things. It's just a little rust maybe, but I feel like I'll be ready to go.
Absolutely, you got to get hyped up, and when you play Sinton. Coach, I wanted to also give you an opportunity. So you have both of these boys here to talk a little bit about Brian, and you talked a little bit about Brian, but Caleb, You had both of them last year on the team, obviously, but for people who really don't know Caleb, who really don't know Brian, when we're talking about, this is what he can do, and people watch this podcast, what can you tell us about them? We know what we see on the court when people go see them, right? But what are they at practice? You talked about Brian being that leader, and he stepped up this year. What else can you tell us about him that maybe we don't know, and Caleb as well?
Well, I guess if we're talking about like off the court type of stuff, for the most part, I mean, they're good kids. They're good kids. I feel like anytime I try to I change up a lot of stuff, right? Like throughout the year, if you're around me or whatever, like we go through a lot of defensive schemes, we go through a lot of offensive stuff. We throw stuff at the wall and try to see what sticks. I would say, man, that those two are some of the greatest kids I've been around, because not once is just like, hey, coach, whatever, it's whatever makes us better, whatever makes us better, and I feel like they buy in really well to whatever I'm asking them to do. They are both guys who I don't have to worry about, you know, watching film, studying the game, things like that. Like Brian and Caleb are leading guys in our locker room that are actually watching games, and they have conversations with me on their own about, hey, coach, like I watched this and this is what I saw, things like that. So just really in tune with wanting to be better, wanting to be good, great program kids. And then we're talking about like on the court stuff, man. You see it, like you watch Brian. There's not much he can't do. Not one of the most athletic kids I've coached, but definitely crafty with the basketball, how he finishes, uses his body well, stronger than he looks, quicker than he looks. He kind of reminds me of, it's kind of funny, but like a mix of Carter and Roman. Like they like a little bit of both of their games. Strong finisher, but he has that vision of like a Carter, like get guys involved. And then Caleb is one of the better shooters I've seen in this program. We have this little drill we did in the summer where they get on the gun and they shoot 100 shots and they go 20 spots, and I think Caleb hit like 84 or 86 out of 100 threes. So I mean, when he gets in the zone, it's ball really doesn't touch the rim. So and then he's versatile. Like he's a big guy that can handle the ball a little bit, gets to the free throw line. You talked about how strong and physical he is. I feel like him and Brian are a good 1-2 punch. Um, and in my opinion, they could both be offensive MVPs of our district. They both can be defensive MVPs. Caleb is a guy that moves his feet, can guard 1 through 5. It's just we have a lot of things we can do with those two guys.
Yeah, no, I see it, Coach, and the other thing, like Brian talked about. I mean, obviously we won't have Caleb back next year because of graduation, but that team as a whole, you got a lot of those coming back, and I think that's what a lot of people. I didn't really realize till I looked at the roster and their classification, right? Where I thought, wow, a lot of these boys are coming back next year. It is, like Brian said, a young team. Some kids that just for the first time are on varsity, and so it's really nice to continue to build this year. And for those kids that will be back next year, they'll have this under their belt. And then I'll talk to you about the underclassmen and how impressed I've been and what I've seen from that JV and freshman team as well. But to get the guys here, another question or two, Brian, going into Sinton tomorrow. I think you played them last year. They're tough. They're well coached. They're going to come out. They're going to be ready. They're always ready. They don't like to lose to Rockport. They don't. And we shouldn't like to lose to them either. So I think it's going to be a battle. It always is, Brian. I mean, you were on the team last year, right? I think this district, when I look at this district, it seems like no team really ever falls completely out, right? Don't know who's going to win the district because Beevil's always right in the mix. They're always tough. Sinton's like that. I do follow Ingleside. They're a little young, but they got some talent out there as well. Rockport-Fulton County. These teams just battle each other, right? And then that's, I think, what makes it so exciting for a fan to go watch. It's just, you just never really know who's going to win. You don't know who's going to win tomorrow. You got to go to the game to watch out, to watch, right? Because they're good. They've got players. We're good. But what do you think you need to do to win this game?
I think it's really just about setting the tone, start aggressive. So I feel like if I start it don't really necessarily got to be about scoring, but starting like get a couple steals on defense, talk on defense, get a couple people open shots so they hit. I mean, if we set the tone early, get them out the game early, I think we just really want to send a message to everybody.
I think that's exactly right. Starting out fast would definitely help out, especially playing over at their place. But the defense, I think, will be critical as well. I think the offense will eventually come as it goes, but defensively, I think is if we play a really good defensive game, then we're definitely going to give ourselves a really good chance to start District 1-0. Caleb, I'll ask you anything that you want to add to what you think hasn't been said that you feel you need to do tomorrow, the team, possibly you, to get that W?
Honestly, exactly what Brian said. I mean, just getting steals on defense, just trying to, really get my game going with defense. That's what I like to do. If I can play really well on defense, then I feel like that kind of gets me going. So just kind of focus on that, see if I can get the easy ones, stuff like that. So, because it doesn't take a lot for me to get going, so that's just what I'm going to try to do. Just get myself early.
Absolutely, guys. Well, good luck tomorrow. I know you guys are going to leave it all out there. Hopefully, when it's all said and done, we're driving back from Sinton 1-0 in district. For all of the Pirate fans, we invite everyone to go out to Sinton. Game time for Varsity starts at 7:30. It is the first district game of the 26 season, right? It starts. And just about a 30-minute drive, not too far. So definitely you can get out there. I'm sure Coach and the players would appreciate seeing a lot of Pirate fans, the green and gold Pirate fans out there cheering them on. I always say that, when we go out there and we're loud, that could be the difference, right? Because I know when I played, you see that crowd there pump, it just gets you get to that next level, and that could be the thing that gets us the W. So not too far of a drive, you can make it out there again. I think freshmen and JV play the earlier games. Varsity starts at 7:30. Definitely take that trip out there and support your Pirates. Guys, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to keep your coach here because I've got some questions for the JV and freshmen, but I'll give you guys the final word. Caleb, I'll go to you first. Anything you want to add? Any shout outs you want to give?
Oh, no. I don't know.
Sounds good, man. A girlfriend? I don't know. A girlfriend? Hey, what's that?
Oh, no, I don't got none of that, man. I don't got any of that.
Hey, that's good. That's how you stay focused, man. That's how it's all about. It's all athletics right there. You ain't got no one distracting you. It's all business, man. Tomorrow business. And I love that answer. That's awesome. Brian, anything you want to add? Any shout outs?
Well, thank you for having me on. But no shout out.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. These boys are all about the business, right? They come on. Coach does a great job of bringing them out. I really appreciate you guys coming out, spending some time with us. Good luck. We'll have Coach during the district season, hopefully asking you back. I'll be inviting you guys back. So hopefully you guys, when Coach asks you to come back, you guys will come back probably middle of district and talk again about how things are going. I do want to say before the guys leave, next week, they do have 2 home games here, Tuesday and Friday. Beeville will be coming in to town on Tuesday, the 23rd. That is youth night. We definitely invite all the Pirate fans to come on out and support. That's a big game.
We gotta buy Tuesday. We play Beeville Friday though.
Oh, so the schedule I got is not correct, so that changed.
It's okay. So Tuesday should be the bye, and then Friday is our Beeville game.
Okay. I'm sorry. I missed the date. Okay, so Friday. So Tuesday there's no game.
Yes.
Friday is youth night here
yes,
against Beeville. Okay, sorry about that. My mistake. So that'll be youth night. Come on out Friday. and support the Pirates. And then next Tuesday on the 27th, it's Teachers Night here in Rockport. So we look forward to on Friday coming out for Youth Night, supporting the Pirates. And then again on Tuesday, the 27th, that's Teachers Night. It's a big game. So hopefully 2 home games coming up. Hopefully the gym will be packed. Brian, Caleb, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Good luck tomorrow. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey, before y'all go, now I got you on there. Y'all do got to pick a teacher, so make sure y'all do that.
All right.
All right.
You know, I'm on pick.
Yeah, your dad gets revenge this year. Hopefully.
Go, guys.
All righty.
I had a lot to think about. Good luck tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.
Yes, sir. So that was Caleb Wilshire, number 22, and number 23, Brian Kizer. Man, great guys. Brian will be back next year. So, Coach, before we get into talking about the other levels of basketball, I do want to let the Power fans know that we are looking for sponsorship. Obviously, we do go out there. We've got guys, and I think my team has done a great job thus far. They pay a lot of attention to detail. They put a lot of work in this. Our commentators, our tech guys, we've come a long ways from the first time we did it. I mean, I knew when we first started, Coach, I mean, things were freezing up. We couldn't even connect right. We've come a long ways from day one that we started doing this to where we're at now, where our stuff looks really good. We continue to add things. And so obviously as a business, we definitely look for sponsorship. So we do have some people that go out to the businesses every day. There's a sponsorship letter that, you can support, you can sponsor a game day sponsor of your choosing or the season. And then the prices are there. Obviously the money that we get obviously does, we send some of that money put back for the athletic program as well. And then the rest of this stuff, we buy equipment to continue to grow. So when you definitely support the Pirates Coast Sports Network, you're also supporting Pirates Athletics. So definitely, if you're interested, it's there. My number's there. You can email me or call me. My number's there as well. Or you can also get a hold of Rick Walker. A lot of you guys know Rick Walker. If you know Rick, you can call him. And Rick can help you out as well. But we definitely love to have you come aboard and bring your business aboard. And then we do everything we can to showcase your business on our live streams or on the podcast as well. So just wanted to put that out there. We do have some sponsorship for basketball, boys and girls. We also have it for soccer, boys and girls, and then we'll also have it for softball and baseball. So, Coach, I just wanted to put that out there. Let's talk a little bit about the other levels of basketball, the JV and the freshmen. Let's go with the JV first. What can you tell me about how their season has gone so far this year, and then go follow up with the freshmen?
I would say the JV, man, they've had a rough start, but I feel like they play hard every game. They are always, in a dogfight, trying to figure out how to get better, how to compete, how to keep that competition edge. But at the same time, like they play the, I don't do our sub varsity and our our JV and our freshmen any favors. They play the same schedule we play. So, they're playing the Port Aransas, they're playing the APs, they're playing like, big time basketball programs. So they are getting put through the ringer early. I'm very interested to see how how it will transfer into our district, our district play and what we've done to get them ready. But they are a tough group of young men. And I feel like they'll be ready for the challenge. At the freshman side, we kind of talked about it earlier. That group is pretty darn good at sports in general. I think that's the same. A lot of them are football guys. They had a pretty good record, I'm assuming, this year for football freshmen, and I think they dominated in district. They've been a surprise. They've won a CCISD tournament against bigger schools like Ray and Carroll. They played Cal Allen. They've only lost, I think, 2 or 3 games this year. Really fun group to watch, man. I'm excited for them coming up in the next couple of years. And they got a good group of kids in there that like to be in the gym. When I opened the gym over this summer, man, I want to say 7 or 8 of those kids were in the gym constantly, and they're just shooting and playing, and they want to be around the sport. So that's refreshing to see.
It is, Coach, and the few games I saw, that's the one thing that came to mind with the junior varsity, and they hustle from start to finish. Like there's no slowing down. Like I don't even think that they even see the scoreboard. They just play. The couple of times I've seen them, I'm watching them. I mean, you can be down 10, you can be down 20. And to them, they just play hard. They could be up 10 and they're still playing the same way. Like the first time I saw that team, right, I came home and I said, man, the first thing that just stuck to mind was the hustle. And it wasn't 1 or 2, they just ran up and down the court. Like the energy was so high, right, that they were just playing. And it was just great to see. And then the second game I saw, it was the same thing from the first game. There was no one walking around. There was no one. They were just running back and forth. They turned the ball over. They're hustling back to the defensive side. And I thought, wow, so this is something that is being taught to them. This is something that they just do, right? It was really nice to see the hustle play from that group. And I'm telling you, if you haven't seen them, they hustle from start to end. And this is about all of them. It's just not 1 or 2. It's really impressive to see. And then when I saw the freshman team, I was kind of like, wow, man, like as a group, they just seem to have a lot of talent on the court as a group. I was watching 4 or 5 of them, and it was like they could all shoot. And they played well together, Coach. It seemed like they just had been playing together for quite some time. It looked like they were in sync. Right. It looked like you're watching them, and I'm wow, probably 14, maybe 15 years old. I said, man, this is really impressive. Went to another game and I said, wow, this is really, these boys can play. Like, that's what came to mind. So this is your future, right?
Yes.
This is the future of our program, right? On top of, you heard Brian Kizer say that this is a young team on varsity, right? A lot of these players will be coming back for Coach Thompson. And we're talking about the junior varsity, and we're talking about the freshmen. This is the next 5-6 years of what's coming up, right? So it's time to get excited about our programs. Now, Coach, we do a lot of great things. I think a lot of this stuff, and this is why we do what we do. First of all, I love what I do. It is a little tiring at times, but I love what I do because I see the talent. I see what's there, right? We can't get to all the games. I wish I could, but boy, it's awesome when you go to see the development of the kids. And, coaches coach. I always say that on the podcast, on the live stream, players play. Man, we've got to back up our programs, right? And it's nice when it's basketball season and you got the student body out there being as loud as they can at home. And then you've got the crowd where it's just, packed from side to side, that Pirate fans have to go sit on the visitor side because there's no room to sit on the home side. I mean, that's the atmosphere we're wanting to build here. Same thing during soccer season out at Pirate Stadium or the softball field or the baseball field, wherever it may be, right? It's great. And I'm sure the coaches and the kids appreciate that. And Coach, listen, I mean, I think you've done a great job. This is, as a head coach, I don't know if I got this right. I think this is, if I'm counting correctly, your 3rd year as the head coach.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because I know you were here as an assistant in our 3rd year. And that's awesome. You continue to do a great job with these boys, and we really appreciate everything you do. I know I do. And what a blessing, like I said, with our soccer coach, to have you here to be able to mold our kids and continue to get better every game, every practice, every year. Coach, my last question to you before I give you the final thoughts is to talk about the district, right? Sinton's coming up, but you know this district very well. And I said earlier, to me, the last couple of years, it seems like no team really falls like they're bad. Every team is competitive. I'm looking at Beeville. I don't know much about Calhoun, but Beeville, Ingleside, Sinton, It looks like it's going to be another very competitive district. Watching them, I don't know if I have someone. I mean, I love Rockport to win, right? Because I'm from Rockport, but it seems like it's going to be another battle where you just don't know who's going to win that district. What can you tell us about these other teams that the Pirate Rockport will be playing this year?
Man, I'll tell you this. Beeville's going to be tough. They got into the little, situation with Ingleside last year. And when we played them the second time, they were missing like half their varsity roster. And they moved up their JV guys. And me and Coach Castillo, after the game, we were like, man, these guys are going to be really good for the next couple of years. I, they just produce basketball players over there for some reason. I don't know what it is, but they have a good program coming up. And then Ingleside, I mean, freaking Spencer does a heck of a job, man, over there, and getting those kids to buy into the system. Ingleside has good athletes. They got a couple of basketball guys over there, and like you said, they're young, but every year I look up and I'm like, Ingleside has a heck of a record again. Like it's just one of those things, man. And Sinton is kind of like you never know what you're gonna get because they got those they have that winning culture over there, and then they get athletes to buy in to whatever the coach is putting over there, and you just never know, really, right? You know it's going to be a physical game with those guys because of that football culture and things like that. So and then Calhoun, they just got a new coach, I believe, from Bay City. So they just kind of looking around because we're doing our research, and a lot of games been closer than what they were in the past, and I feel like they're improving. So I do think that our district is pretty tough, man, and we don't have a lot of teams in it, but it's pretty tough to I would say to win it here, to get to playoffs, things like that. And then we got a tough freaking bye district. We get out of here and we look on the other side, and you got Bradford, you got Lamarck, you got Bay City, you got El Campo, you got freaking all those guys over there that are pretty tough basketball programs that you got to look to face on. So I'll just say it don't get easy. It don't get easier. You got a tough district, and then when you get to playoffs, you have a tougher district opponent. So it's fun. This is why we do what we do, for the love of competition and things like that. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to see what we can do with this team. I've kind of talked to our guys, all last year with or this year. I would say that guys had to step into roles that they didn't have last year. Gary was like a spot up shooter last year. This year he had to do a lot more ball handling than he was used to. Caleb was a big guy that we stuck underneath the rim because we were so heavy guard play last year. And now we get to pull him out and show what he can do on the perimeter and, kind of mix it up and give us that advantage because he's so big. You got to put your big on him. And, he's such a good athlete. And then Brian going from a guy who averaged 10 points last year to he's averaging 21 this year. I mean, the kid's incredible. Took on that offensive load and just said, whatever you need, coach, whatever I got to do, I'll do. I'm just excited. I'm excited for us to go ahead and get started with district because I feel like it's been so long since we've had a game, but I think we've improved a lot this year. Not even just as basketball players, but as human beings, man. I feel like these kids are just getting better. And that's my goal. I tell them all the time, like, if you don't learn anything basketball from me, like, just take something from, I'm a big believer on show up on time, every day, be dependable, make sure I can count on you. Because one day I tell them all the time, y'all are going to be husbands, y'all are going to be dads. And there's nothing like being a husband or a dad. You want to be counted on, right? You don't want your family ever to feel like you're not a dependable man. So I feel like I preach that a lot to the boys, and I feel like they respond to it. We have this saying that we go around, and we say protect our program, right? Protect our program. Don't do anything to embarrass it. Don't do anything to give anybody any reason to talk bad about Rockport-Fulton basketball. And I feel like they responded to that call this year. I'm very proud of the way that they've matured. I know last year, we had some troubles with technical fouls. I don't know if you noticed that last year.
Yeah,
This year, I'm proud. We have one technical foul in the season, and I don't think it was justified. Whatever. But I mean, that's huge. Going from the technical fouls that we had last year to this year, I think the boys are responding to adversity a lot better. I think they're able to handle tough times and just tough decisions so much better than we did last year, which is great, right? At the end of the day, like if it's not basketball growth, that's the most important thing, and if it's human growth, then I think we're right on the money.
And Coach, and I'm glad that you say that, because obviously during the season it's all about everyone. When you go see, we want to win, and a lot of times you forget those things. But these are young men, who go out there and play. They're going to make mistakes, and I know fans, we want to win so bad, because I'm like that too. But we got to remember these kids, right? We're still role models to them. We're older than they are, right? They also look at us and how we handle situations and calls from the ref, and how we respond, right? I mean, they're watching us like we're watching them, right? Like I'm watching them. They're watching me. They're hearing me. How is he commentating the game? How is he reacting to something, So we all got to be careful. Like you said, the growth, you never stop growing here on. It doesn't matter what the age is, right? You're always growing. And I'm glad that you say that, because that's the other part of this podcast, right? Yes, we talk about wanting to win and how we can win, and strategy and all that stuff here, right? But there's also that other important part that you're bringing in, that you're talking about right now, and that is the growth. To be able to tell community, you're seeing the growth from these kids, right? Not just on the basketball court, but the technical fouls, right? That's huge. No one probably realizes that, because when we go to the game, we're talking, how are we going to beat Sinton? How are we going to start 1-0? There's that other important part. And when we do this podcast, you're saying, I want to talk about his growth. I want to tell you how we were last year, and look at, because I didn't know that about the technicals this year, that we only had one, right?
Only one out of 19 games, and I think that's huge, right? And I try to be, like you said, like we're role models. So anything that I ask them to do, I make sure I try to do. We had Saturday morning practice last Saturday, and our goal is with 9:00 is our start time, and I always tell the boys we're 10 minutes early, right? At least. So if I tell you practice is at 9, then you're here at 8:50 at least. I ran into some traffic. I was a little late showing up, so when we're late, we got a towel push, towel drag. So as soon as we got into the gym, I grabbed the towel, and I try to be the example. If I'm gonna ask you to do it, then I'm gonna make sure that I'm doing it too, so that we know no one's above our standard.
I think that's awesome, Coach. And I think the kids, they have that's how you gain respect too, right? I mean, I'm going to hold myself accountable. If I'm going to tell you and you're going to do it, if you're late, then I've got to do it. And I think that's how it sets the tone, right? That's how you set the tone. And if you can do those things, show up on time every day, right? Take responsibility, be serious about those little things. Then it just kind of just follows you onto the court, right? It becomes part of who you are. You don't have to work at it, because you're doing it every day, right? It's repetitive. Like I show up 10 minutes before, then it comes to 15, and then you're there 30 minutes early, because it's something that you've been doing, right? So it starts there. It starts with those little things. You have to be able to do, I've always felt, those little things, because then that transitions into what you do on the court, right? You're focused, you're ready to go, right? And so those little things, even though we don't talk about showing up on time, and if you're going to do this, or like you said, just the technicals of one, that's pretty good, because I'm sure these kids at times don't agree. Basketball is a physical sport, right? Sometimes, and they're young, right? So they could say something, so they could get themselves a technical. But for 19 games, I think you said, and one technical foul, that's pretty good from players. That's showing me, that tells me that our coaches are doing a great job. They're preaching to these kids, right? And they're buying in, because that's awesome, right? And once you can do that consistently, then all that turns into success on the court as well as off the court. So thank you for what you do, Coach Thompson. I mean, you've been here 3 years. I mean, I saw you as an assistant here. I've always thought you've been a class act. I've never heard you cuss. I mean, I never heard you be disrespectful. You're very calm, and I think that's setting the tone. I mean, you're the head guy, right, of our basketball program, so they're watching you and hearing everything you do and say. So, what an example! Thank you to you and to your assistant coaches for setting that tone for our kids, because I think that's very, very important. That's something that we don't always talk about here on the podcast, but I'm glad you brought it up, because that's just as important as talking about the wins and the losses. Man, Coach, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. I'll definitely have Coach back probably in about 2 weeks or so. And if you could send me, Coach, the results. I don't know, how do I get these results from Sinton tomorrow? I know some of the coaches. I know you're busy. But how do I go about finding out? Because I won't be able to be at the game tomorrow. We are looking to be at the game on Friday against Beeville and Ingleside, because we definitely want to be there to stream those games, especially for teacher night and youth night. But we won't be there tomorrow. How can we find, or how can I find out the final score and the stats, so I can post it up on our social media platforms?
We're usually really quick about posting, updating our max preps. Okay. I get my assistant coaches in there, and they're usually really good about just going there and throwing up the score real quick. And then Coach Castillo does a great job of taking a picture of the book at the end. So if you just shoot me a text message, I'll try to remember to go ahead and just shoot you the picture of the stat book, so you can have all that and get it to you as soon as possible.
Oh, thank you, Coach. The next day will be great. I know you've got other things going on, and thank you for what you do. I mean, the book, I always get it. Thank you. That really helps out. I take a look at it, and it really helps me out with the podcast. So thank you. Good luck, Coach. Tomorrow, man. I hope we can go in there and get that win. It's always good when we can be sitting. I feel great, but I also understand they got a winning culture up there. It's never easy
I'll tell you this: since I've been here, I think we beat Sinton one time. So we are looking to get a little bit of payback this year.
Yes, sir. And again, for all the Pirate fans, it's a 30-minute drive. Definitely, if you've got time, there'll be 3 games out there, but the Varsity starts at 7:30. So plenty of time to get out there if you want to get out there and support the Pirates. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be it always is a great game between Sinton and Rockport. And then Tuesday, no game, but then on Friday, the 23rd, it'll be youth night. Game time starts at 7:30. Definitely come on out if you can. I think we're going to be there to stream that game. And then Tuesday, the 27th, teachers night, we'll definitely be there to stream that game. Coach, thank you very much. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.